Would have got more hits.
See, one glaring thing that would go wrong with that is that the people with the most money and the people that already have the money printers are going to be the ones that have the guns, and the other people are just going to starve out. I don't really think like that doesn't sound like a model that really suits everybody. It's once again something that suits the people that are at the top 1%. I'm kind of confused as to like how that would work. If a rifle body is like driven up in price because of how many are out and about, then that exuberant price is only going to be able to be paid by a certain percentage of people, a small percentage of people on the server. So like what? Like I don't understand that.
That's, I mean, that's pretty much the point.
Though, is it? It's only one person can supply and one person can demand.
Well, no, I don't understand. So the people that craft guns right now won't be crafting guns if that's what they think. Not to mention that right after this, it's revealed the gun bodies can only be bought by people tied to the gang app. The reality is there won't ever be a good enough solution to the economy that says wipe. The wait was too long before it was finally realized that there's actually... These guys are just fucking brain damage, bro. Like, there is a problem. They never say a problem, what the problem is. What is the problem? Like, we're just changing the shape of RP, dude. I don't think Class 2s have necessarily been bad. I think it was good to try that shit, see how it goes, but, you know, it's also good to change things up, and that's the mentality, dude. It is very so you've got to consider this. So you've got to understand how the brain works for this system to make sense, okay? Right now, it costs like $1 million to buy a gun, okay? Nobody is going to do that shit. Ain't nobody paying $1 million for an AK. Then it comes down to getting, let's just start at the base. 20K, anyone's going to buy that shit. 50K, anyone would probably still buy that shit, considering you're only going to go versus Class 1s. Then when it starts to get higher than that, you question the need for it unless you are actually shooting. You actually need the gun, right? I think even I on Francis, I ain't paying like 200K just to risk using a gun in a situation where I'm likely going to lose it. Yeah, you know what I mean? Nobody's got to fucking nobody's got to want to do that shit. How do you get a rifle body? You buy them. You just buy a rifle body. But the crafting and shit's got to... Well, I mean, pistols are going to be a lot cheaper, for sure. The pistol shit's probably a little bit too excessive. But the entire idea of this is to see little Class 2s in the city. That's the idea. Yeah, richer people will have easier access to them, sure. But even they are going to consider when and why. You know what I mean? And that's more of a that's a better outlook for the server, in my opinion. When people are questioning when am I going to use this and why am I going to use this? If you have that thought process naturally, it's good. And sadly, in roleplay, you don't have that, right? Well, this server, quote unquote roleplay, you need to force it on people to make them think about it, and that's one of the ways to do it. I mean, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But I think you shouldn't really think of the negatives of things or focus on that until you are for certain it's going to head down that path. Otherwise, you're never going to try anything, and you'll never get new shit, really, if it's questionable shit. You know what I mean? But, yeah, I think Class 1s will obviously be way more common either way, so. Alright, well, Reddit's fucking boring today, dude. PDs won't have Class 2s, no. You've got, so think about this, right? You're saying, like, oh, is it going to be balanced for PD? You've got to understand, if I go get an AK, right, and I pay 200K for it, even if I'm Chain Gang, you don't. I'm not going to shoot a cop with this gun and then throw it away. You know what I mean? It adds a value to that gun where I'd either resell it for cheaper, and you know it's a hot gun, or you got to use it again, and it increases the risk. So I just think it just generally makes people think about what they got to do, and that's the goal. So. I mean, I know it's not going to be perfect, but I'm definitely willing to see where it goes. Someone's got to lose all his money. I mean, he made $2 million doing nothing, so it's all good. So no more $14 M4s. I mean, it's irrelevant to the point, dude. It's irrelevant to the point entirely.